G'day patrons, happy Monday. Hope you're all well. I am better, still a bit seedy, but comes off the back of a very long week at work, including a 12-hour day on Saturday. So my plans for getting this to you on the weekend were completely shot, so apologies for that. We're at work, whenever something major happens around COVID, there's a lot of prep that goes into getting things right, and that means for me that unfortunately that there's going to be a 50% reduction in our workload. So next week I'll have a lot more time to do this sort of stuff, and that's completely fine. I've got a lot of annual leave to fill up the hours that I don't work. We've got accreditation in November, so I'll stay busy. But nonetheless, yeah, it's like a 60-hour week just at work. So I've got bags under my eyes. I was, literally sick yesterday. So sorry for oversharing. So let's do this. There's going to be about 4 stories for you guys, I think, and then the balance is going to go public at the same time. And I'm very happy with the script so far around, well, how can I term it? It's kind of like energy security meets electric vehicles meets, fossil fuels. Mash that all together and you get the idea where I'm coming from. So I'm going to shoot that today, edit most likely that tomorrow, and I'll get it to the gold producers on Wednesday. Then for the rest of the guys on Patreon, I'll get it out to you probably on Friday, and I'll release it maybe next Monday as the major show instead of a news thingy. So I'll just get the news for you guys, and I'll just get that for the main one. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay, so let's get straight into this. And before I go any further, actually, thanks, Scotty. You've moved up to the gold Patreon level, so there'll be a shout out on today's news episode. Alrighty, alright, so let's start off this first bit. Have you ever had deliveries stolen from your front porch? If so, check out this solution by Ford and Hermes in the UK. Called Secure Delivery to Vehicle, this is a pilot program whereby selected retailers and customers can choose delivery to vehicle as like a standard option for delivery and provide details of the exact location of your car. Customers will be able to have either home delivery if they prefer, but this is maybe next level. Once the delivery driver is in 300 meters of the car, the exact location of the vehicle is displayed on the Hermes app, and within 50 meters, the driver scans the barcode on the customer's parcel to create a one-time unlock token for the vehicle. This then enables the driver to unlock the boot, and the parcel can actually be deposited into said boot. For added security, if the delivery driver fails to actually lock the vehicle after making the delivery, the vehicle locks automatically with a set time period. Locating the vehicle and remote unlocking and locking is enabled through permissions granted by the recipient in the Ford Pass app. Now, if the vehicle is not within 300 meters of the selected delivery to vehicle address, then the parcel is actually delivered to the recipient's home instead. This also applies to parcels that are maybe just too large for a boot, obviously. So what do you think? Obviously for people who have powered boots, it's not a bad idea. You wouldn't have wanted to have anything inside your car that's a bit loose or stealable. It's got merit, I guess, particularly for people who live in homes that have no off-street parking or, sheltered sort of porch area. I'm very curious. It's intriguing, very. Okay, for my next Patreon-only story, and apologies as this is going to be definitely a puff piece, bit of marketing hype, but something that actually really interests me. So yeah, stick around because look, arts, culture, they're just as important as tech. So Hyundai has actually partnered with the renowned portrait photographer rather, Annie Leibovitz, on a creative marketing campaign that brings to life the stories of Hyundai owners and employees. Yawn, maybe, but her portrait photography has captured many stunning moments, and I find it interesting that how Hyundai's actually contracted her to like bring these different stories to light. I've left a link down below. Some of them are definitely tearjerkers. I've only watched about 3 of them. One's around, a guy who is raising money for the Children's Cancer Fund, and there's a bit of a thing in there around a Kona EV, so that's good. Another guy who is, trying to raise awareness around forests and deforestation and all that sort of stuff. So generally there's passionate, real stories behind this, even though it's definitely a little bit of marketing hype. But yeah, nice to see. It's not going to make mainstream media, but thought I'd share it with you. Now, I forget the company who actually produced this. I think it's Volkswagen. Yeah, I think it's Volkswagen. So Volkswagen has actually unveiled like a new analysis software tool called, get this, BattMAN, yeah, BattMAN, BattMAN ReLife. And it checks the state of health of batteries in just a few minutes. And that's kind of a bit of a very quick statement to say something that's quite massive. Remembering that there's thousands of cells that make up a battery pack. So this has got potential, a lot of potential here. A lot. So what happens is that starting immediately, the quick check system will be used as a means of like initial diagnosis in battery recycling at the pilot plant for Volkswagen Group. The system detects and displays any error messages, as well as installation resistance, capacity, temperature, and cell voltage. Depending on the capacity, the inspection system detects a high voltage battery may be like reused in a vehicle, either in whole or in part. That's definitely intriguing. It might like receive second life as mobile stationary energy storage, or they might actually get returned to like recycling. Yeah. Now this first is actually so-called remanufacturing, and a process in which the battery is broken down to its most elemental parts, and that is to say it's 100% recycled. And we can't say the same for petrol engine cars, can we? No. Petrol's burnt, disappears. Engine cars, about 90% recyclable. Battery electrics, 100%. Nice. It's a good feeling. I don't want to feel smug, but there's an element there wherever I see one of those comments, it's like, yeah, just go do your research. Anyway, this BattMAN system, I think actually has got some absolute merit. I'm guessing that in the past it was very labor intensive, where they would have to take apart a pack and actually then find the individual cells as to where the issue was. I've seen footage, I reckon, of Tesla with something very similar. So is it an industry first? I'm not very sure. Okay, next one's a Save Your Date, and it's a documentary that you can watch on YouTube, or online rather. And it comes from the guys who brought you like War on Waste and Fight for Planet A. And Craig Rucasso has partnered with comedian Christian Van Uren. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. It's a Y. And they're going to bring us like this feature documentary called Big Deal, Is Our Democracy for Sale? It's this week, October 7, 2021, from 7:30 start. There's a questions and answers at the end if you want to actually participate in that. It's free, links below, and I'd be curious to see if this goes on national TV. I'm hoping it does, like maybe on ABC or SBS. Very curious. And just one more piece for you guys today, and that is also another Save the Date, and that is the Smart Energy Council have got a conference coming up, which is also free to attend, and it's got an amazing amazing lineup of people who will be presenting there. So, link below, register if you got the time, and check it out. It looks very compelling. All right, now let's get into the public stuff, and let's do this. On today's show, Lucid Air begins production of its Dream series, Genesis GV60, and let's talk about Polestar 2 and Australian pricing. Almost a year to the day, I brought you news of Volvo's electric, like plug-in hybrid really, fire truck, and I'm pleased to say that Canberra, our nation's capital, will be getting the very own. Set for delivery next year, the Volvo Penta is a modified appliance that features an electric driveline, a 50 or 100 kilowatt hour battery pack that means it can run on pure electric mode for up to 30 kilometers. Given that it's absolutely vital that they can get to the firefighting scene and be able to run, and fight a fire, the inclusion of a diesel is, well, let's face it, just hopefully a temporary thing. But nonetheless, the numbers on this thing are incredible. And I read, and I'm not quite sure it's true, but it actually was on Volvo's website, has something like 50,000 newton meters of torque. And well, yeah, I guess it's heavy, carrying water, all the machinery. That's very impressive, but if they could maybe bump up that battery size pack to more like we're seeing in larger trucks and buses, that range of up to 30 kilometers, pure electric, I think could be a hell of a lot better. So yeah, exciting stuff, and well done, Canberra. Lucid Air has rolled off its production line its Dream Edition electric vehicle. This high-end luxury car will soon be in the hands of 520 lucky owners, either in performance or range versions. Both capable of a top speed of 260 km per hour and 0 to 100 time in 2.5 or 2.7 seconds. And the headline for those with big bladders, 832 kilometers of range. That's on the EPA method, so absolutely doable. Featuring a 112 kilowatt hour battery pack, priced from the mid to high $100,000 mark in the US, these saloon variants mark the first of Lucid Motors' plans to slowly introduce progressively cheaper cars in its lineup. The Arizona manufacturing plant is expected to be in full production by 2024, have an economic impact of more than, was it $9 billion US per year? So that's about what, $14 billion per year, employ more than 15,000 people. And yeah, it's kind of exciting to see such a luxurious car come out with amazing specs. Australian release? Who knows? I hope so. Terra! Terra! Actually, Terra. Terra, T-E-R-R-A, Terra 360. Yeah, the world's fastest electric vehicle charger at 360 kilowatts. That's like 360,000 watts of power, folks, or 180 ovens. Gosh, imagine that. Would the grid go down? Maybe, just maybe. Anyway, the folks over at ABB, they're like a massive company that's headquartered in Switzerland and have offices all around the world, has released an ultra-rapid charger that I think petrol companies will actually replace in lieu of petrol Bowsers. Why? Because this one unit can deliver power to 4 cars simultaneously. I could even see this being used like commercial sites, like let's say rental car companies or mining facilities, where they need to charge a lot of cars as quickly as possible. If you have a car that can accept 360 kilowatts of power, that means you could get 100 kilometers of additional range in just 3 minutes, or absolutely to full in 15 minutes or less. Available in Europe from the end of 2021, and in the USA, Latin America, and Asia Pacific region in 2022. The Terra 360 is like an exciting addition to our EV charging infrastructure, and I look forward to seeing it in Australia because, you know what, honest to goodness, I really do. I think that these will appear at petrol stations instead of pumps. And having that rapid recharge, and look, spend 5 minutes there and you get, let's say, 125-ish or 150 Ks, I think people will start going, yeah, electric vehicles are possible and let's do it. Man, it seems every week we're getting more and more details of more and more EVs coming to Australia, so I'm excited to give you some details, or more details rather, around Hyundai luxury brand Genesis and their GV60. With 3 models providing the usual mix of standard range, long range and performance, that will mean either a 400, 451 or 368 kilometers of range respectively. Power is good, coming in at 168 kilowatts, 234 or 320, and torque very zippy from 350 newton meters up to 605 with thanks to its dual motor setup. If you care about 0 to 100 times, and I see you in the comments, I know that not everyone wants to, but some do, this car, and the performance model that is, will do it in under 4 seconds. Now, the question is price, and I've seen reports of it potentially costing low 70,000s, but come on, like last week I talked about how the Ioniq 5 is being sold in Australia for mid to high 70s. And remember, this is a luxury brand of Hyundai and will cost, I reckon, high 70s, if not actually low to mid 80s mark. Why? Because, check this out, it's more blingy. Did you see that? Why? Why would you need to do that? I have my doubts, and those plastics, they look cheap. But maybe there's actually other stuff in this car that actually pushes it into that luxury brand territory, such as the Bang & Olufsen audio system with 17 speakers. There's digital side camera views and monitors in lieu of side mirrors, and a lot more. We'll have to actually wait and see on final pricing and specs, but for me, the outside of this car, the GV60, it looks great. The interior, I'm not sold on it whatsoever. But again, the more electric vehicles we get in Australia, the more choice we have, each to their own. Looks are subjective, and I get it. Before my final story, I just want to say a big thank you to those more than 8,000 people who have subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, do so. It's absolutely free. But guys, girls, if you want to actually see more content like this more regularly, behind the scenes, and well, a heck of a lot more, consider joining me over here on Patreon, where from as little as $2.50 per month, that's like 60 cents per week, you get all this and a lot more. And one of the perks of being like a gold patron is a shout out on the show, and today that goes to Scotty, who's actually been supporting my channel since March this year, and now he's gone from silver to gold, and he not only gets all those perks that I spoke about, but those people as well as my producers, they get ultra early access, which might mean they get stuff like a week earlier or even months earlier than what you see on this channel. So yeah, please do consider supporting my work over there. I would really appreciate it. But otherwise, I'd like to thank my producers, Adam Tyson, Alan Burnt, Ashley Hill, Coyote Media Technology, David Lynham, and my ICT specialist, Nigel Farrier, and Tessa Nagong. Okay, my final story today is the big news that was last week, and that is the Polestar 2 pricing for Australia. Polestar, for those who might not be familiar with the brand, is actually the premium offshoot of Volvo. And the pricing for the Polestar 2 is very good, very good. Now, so let's take a bit of a deeper dive and try to work out if it's maybe the car for you. This great looking EV is priced from $59,900 before on-road costs. Or if you live in Victoria like me, it's about $64,000. Drive away plus a little bit of change. That seems like excellent value, especially as you'll be able to use the $3,000 subsidy that is currently being offered in Victoria, bring it back down to the $61,000 mark. However, if you actually compare it to the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, we actually need to add on a few different packs. First up is Pilot Pack, which provides enhanced safety and driver assistance features such as driver assistance with adaptive cruise control, Pilot Assist, 360-degree surround view camera, and driver awareness, including blind spot information system with steering support, cross-traffic alert, and brake support. Rear collision warning and pixel LED headlights with LED fog lights. That's putting the Polestar 2 on similar footing to Tesla's Standard Range Plus. If you want the full glass roof, then you'll need to pony up for the Plus Pack. That includes obviously that, Harman Kardon audio system with 13 speakers, heat pump, WeaveTech vegan upholstery, black ash deco, fully electric heated front seats with memory, heated steering wheel, and heated wipers. Okay, are we there yet? I reckon so, but adding all that stuff on is $11,000 on top of that sticker price. For people who are around actually this price category, and think BMW 3 owners, Volvo whatever owners, that's actually still a very competitive car that's fully electric and absolutely very high end, so well done to Polestar. The standard range single motor features a 64 kilowatt hour battery capable of 440 kilometers range with power at 165 kilowatts and newton meters of torque coming in at 330. For not much more money, Especially when compared to the $73,400 long-range Tesla Model 3, the Polestar 2 can come in a 78 kilowatt-hour battery delivering 540 kilometers of range for just $5,000 more. Then as the on-road cost, it's actually cheaper than the Tesla Model 3 long range, but again at 11K. But still very competitive. Power output of the long range is a modest bump of 170 kilowatts, and finally, there's of course a dual motor long range version just under $70,000 with power boosted to 300 kilowatts and torque 660 Newton meters. Doing so, however, will mean that some lost range due to the extra motor weight, I guess very spirited driving that everyone will most likely do. But if that 4.7 second 0 to 100 time isn't enough, you could opt for the performance pack that's available for the long-range dual motor variant only, and includes adjustable dampeners, Brembo brakes, forged 20-inch alloy wheels, and signature Swedish gold details throughout the car. Speed bump? Don't think so, not my read on it. Street cred? Maybe, yeah. I've got to say, I love the look of this car. It's contemporary, it's sophisticated, it's got really attractive lines, an interior that screams high-end, and it runs Android Auto for seamless Google knows everything integration. Yep, I used to have Google deeply embedded in my life, and I would probably appreciate this car for that very reason. The 11-inch touchscreen responds to not only touch, but also air gestures by moving your hands. I've reached out to Polestar Australia in the hope to get my hands on one of these when they become available. So if you are watching Polestar, hi, check your emails. Thanks, that'd be really appreciated. Alright, so what do you think of the Polestar 2, or look, any of the stories I spoke about today? I do want to hear from you. I actually do read the comments. I respond to some, not all of them. And yeah, just want to thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, some of you haven't, consider supporting me here somewhere on Patreon. And otherwise, please be good and be green.